Thanks for coming to us for your carrier update, sponsored by Powerfleet. First thing I want to jump into today is our outbound tender volumes across the U.S. here. I brought to you a chart today to show us what's going on. In the blue here is our current volumes, where we have 2019 crossing over into 2020, and of course here in the green is 2 years ago when 2018 crossed over into 2019 last year. So what we're looking at right here is we see across the holidays here where it dropped down for the New Year's holiday, and we started out 2020 and it jumped back up here, and what we want to kind of look at is what's going on. We're just above the 2019 start here. We're currently at 97.70, and of course here we expect this to follow this trend though, and that's kind of why I brought here what's happening in the early of 2019 is because we expect our 2020 trend here to kind of trail along. Right now it's just above our 2019, which is I'll take it. I always like the higher. I wish it was a little bit further up, but it's not. So we should follow this little trend here, and of course maybe drop down in the end of middle or towards the end of January, and of course then start picking back up as we enter February. Now, looking at what's going on kind of with our rates here, I've brought you our outbound tender rejection, and I've split up into reefer and dry van. Dry van I here have in the blue, and reefer I here have in the red. We'll start off with our dry vans. Here we see the peak season across the Christmas time, and we cut down and kind of drop down, and we've dropped down to 7.27%. Reefer here, we started off very strong and we've dropped down some, but in the past few days, reefer has actually picked back up just a little bit to 15.32%. Now 15.32% is still a very elevated tender rejection rate, especially for a national average. It's letting us know that our spot rates for the reefer right now are a lot higher than our contracted rates at the current time period. So reefer right now, it is of course the season where we have our regular goods that are ran on reefer trailers, but also we're adding in right now the protect from freeze products. These are products such as maybe your soups, your beverages, and also there's some industrial products that have to be protected as well. Paint is a good example. Paint will freeze and break the cans, so those need to be put in, really they need to be put in a reefer just for the insulating walls as they run across. We've had a lot of cold weather come in, the Pacific Northwest, the Midwest, and the Northeast. So here are areas that have picked up with reefer demand only because we have items that need to be protected from freeze. Now, looking at a different scenario here, I brought to you a Treemap here, and this is of our dry van tender rejection rates. And what we're looking at is we're looking at the change in dry van tender rejection rates over a 1 week period. So here we're looking at last week versus this week. And the scenario that I want to bring out is if you're a carrier and you're leaving a market, but here your shipper has given you the option of maybe 4 or 5 different loads to several different markets here, 4 or 5 different markets. You know, which one do you choose? And a Treemap is a good map. This really 1 week change is a good map to choose to let you know which direction the markets are going. So right now we see a lot of red. This is a lot of markets that are dropping down, but we do see a few that are in green here. We got a couple from Wisconsin. Of course, we got South Dakota, which is a very small market, but you can see here Amarillo, Texas, Louisville, Kentucky, San Diego, even Ontario, California. These are markets that are picking up. Now you can really go here and you can click on a market. I clicked on Green Bay, Wisconsin. You can click straight here on your Treemap and you can bring up a chart to let you know what is going on in this market. Of course, in Green Bay, we saw it fall down, the tender rejection rates, and here is last week, and here it picked back up to 14.93%. Now, in the past few days, it's been trending downward, but this is a good way that you can jump in and see what's going on and kind of help pick out which markets you want to send your trucks to. Again, same thing for the reefer. You can bring a reefer Treemap up as well. 1 week change in outbound tender reefer rejection. This map's a little bit different. It's got a lot more green for what I told you about the demand for reefers currently.
The comprehensive logistics offerings from Powerfleet cover in-cab ELD, fleet management, trailer tracking, cargo monitoring, and tracking other assets such as chassis and intermodal containers. Power up your operations with Powerfleet.